first up, we have Till the Morning by Brian Daddario. I think this was Kiley's pick.
Yeah,
but correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, in which case. Kiley, what did you make of Till the Morning?
I mean, it's, I guess at this point, however many Twigs albums, EPs, but now solo Brian, the Daddario brothers in my book can't do anything wrong. There's nothing outside of what we usually hear from the Lemon Twigs on this record. Sometimes that solo album can, if Brian came out with a house record or something, I would be really surprised and get him a
I would
give him a pat on the back. Yeah, this is I think you mentioned it in your review, Andrew, that these aren't necessarily anything different, but also songs that Brian felt that didn't really fit into anything the Lemon Twigs were working on. And I really enjoyed it. It's a great, once again, more 60s, I think, than some of the more recent Lemon Twigs records. Good throwback. I think my one knock on it is that I miss Michael on this record, and not that I can choose, but a lot of the time I kind of enjoy Michael's songs more, a little more of that loosey goosey rock and roll energy that he brings. But there's no denying that Brian is a phenomenal songwriter, and it's a lovely little record. And yeah, glad he decided to put it out. I really enjoyed it.
So they are a continual presence on this pod with the third year in a row, and from what I understand, another Twigs album to come later this year as well.
That's the rumor.
You never know; might be 4 in 3 years, which we're reviewing on here. Let's wait and see. But for now, we'll focus on this solo effort. So Karl, are you in agreement with Kiley there? Sort of continuing that trend of high quality albums which the brothers produce.
Yeah, I mean, like Kiley said, safe to say that this Purple Patch isn't exclusive to the pair of them together. I don't think. This is a really wonderful album. It like you say, it's exactly what you expect it to be. Timeless songs that feel like they've been, just plucked out of a different era. Everything that just makes the Twigs great has been translated to the solo project. The title track, fantastic opener. Love that piano melody that just kind of runs through it. Song of Everyone, fantastic. Very kind of reminiscent of Simon and Garfunkel, which obviously those comparisons have been made before. But yeah, I'd say my favourite tracks are definitely in the second half. Absolutely adore Company, which is mostly just, Brian and a piano until that kind of like whirring, like static kind of comes in. It's just like a really wonderful song full of like nostalgia and melancholy, and yeah, just really great track. And then balanced beautifully by This Summer, which comes straight afterwards, which again, love the vocal work, love those bluesy riffs. Just a really cracking song. And then the other one I wanted to shout out was Useless Tears, which, I'm a sucker for anything that's like a bit theatrical, got some orchestration on it. And, that's a song that's got an abundance of both. Reminds me a lot of the Divine Comedy. Again, another one like a lot of Brian's and Michael's and the Twigs work does in general. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites on here. And yeah, it's another release from them with no real low points. Just a really great collection of songs that feel like, classic tracks that have been around, in your subconscious your whole life. And, if you can bottle that feeling, you're onto a winner. So yeah, it's one of those like kind of touch on it, like, and you did in your review, Andrew, as well. I think you could sit here and say you know, well, is it enough of a deviation to what the Twigs are doing with a solo project? But, you know, when the songs are, you know, this good, I don't really care. But it's more of the same in this case. So yeah, just fantastic effort, packed with highlights. Another great album from Brian.
Yeah, can only echo, you know, both of your thoughts here. You know, you referred to the article I did for 5 to 9, the review there. I mean, that sums it up really, and also makes this feel like I'm treading quite far back in the year now at the end of April to the back of this album, which was I think beginning of March, and then obviously with the review preview sort of late Feb. So yes, it was dark train journeys into work, which was the main kind of setting for listening to this, but it certainly boosted those, I can say. You know, like you both say, just continues that rich vein of fantastic songwriting, which we've you know highly introduced the Lemon Twigs to. Certainly to me, I think you were already aware of them, Karl, but on the pod a couple of years ago, and ever since then I've just lapped up anything new which they've released, and it's just been a great kind of you know 3 releases in 3 years. It doesn't change the dial too much, as referred to, and as you've referred to as well, but more just sort of where that inspiration comes from with the nostalgia, you know, in the music they create. And here I got a bit more Bob Dylan than I've heard probably on the previous 2 Lemon Twigs albums. It might be just because you can't escape Bob Dylan in the media with the with the Timothy Chalamet film and everything else. So maybe that influenced my thoughts as well. But yeah, I mean, I'll just sort of add the ones which I think were the best in terms of this album. So I agree with you, Karl. Useless Tears, that one, the theatrical nature of it is really good. A mention of Paupers and Beggars, which make me think of like Beatles songs, but also a bit kind of Queen style joint vocals in the chorus. And then my other highlights of the album is the title track, which I think is very Bob Dylan like, and yeah, just great ode to the morning. And then the middle section of Only to Ease My Mind, which is just lovely hush guitar about wanting to banish the devils in his mind, and then Flash in the Pan, which is quite a country psych tinged song, asking for forgiveness from God, which is kind of a bit of a theme across this album, which again hasn't really been explored from what I've heard from the Twigs so far. So a bit of a deviation there, but yeah, just excellent guitar there, and just an album you can sink into. You mentioned this summer. That's one I'll need to hark back to now that the sun's out over here.
For sure.
So yeah, it's a very strong thumbs up from the 3 of us there for Till the Morning.